Welcome back once again to the new thing. Continuing with our reading of the work poems, which apparently were written in 2019. We are starting off with work poem number 15. Here we go. Join the losing soul. Oscillation diner, floral loyalties precede my missus on the isthmus. It also delayed it. Look what living in a repressive matriarchy does to you. Gollum in recovery. This year, why not try an edible Christmas tree? Rainbow sunrise. Is that the name of a song already? Many adopted people, your gum is needed for waffle gains. From an unknown pizza well, one thought drives another out of my head before I've had a chance to savor it or write it down. I choose the living from among the dead. Using familiar symbols, I can lead other sentient beings to my own, more esoteric ones. I labored over that sentence. You'll never guess who welcomed me into the ranks of the elevated. You can make a fun Thanksgiving-themed treat by putting a big scoop of fudge ripple ice cream on a cone and sticking sort of pink candy worm or something in it to make a wild turkey on top of a cone. But for something, the skull-based remote control. Photo Jesus stretches more to the alpaca. Grump the rump, but solicitously. Band name, Zuckertuten. My feelings about their recent election are akin to how I would feel if David Lee Roth died. This leftover, half-burned pot is getting me really high. I haven't had any in 4 or 5 days. I just lifted weights. The latter is the more important, however. It seems to be dependent on the former. Pot and I are partners, not master and servant. Okay, now, let's see here. Hold on a second. God damn it. What the hell happened just then? Okay. Alright, this is number... Whoops. That's not right. Alright, hold on. Having a little trouble here. Okay, this is number 16. This Friday will be the test for the theobromine. Drugs affect people in different ways. Spectators 36, a group to define and discuss. Practical glamour is now available to members of the Watchworks family. Fantasy jugs. Treehouse shaped like a giant deer's head with giant candles rising from the antlers. Ik verstehe mit so etwas umzugehen. Stockholm? Outrigger authority from Outrigger Cologne. Your ears can be impatient. Near. The first insects to understand human speech. It's not so much that you want your dreams to come true as you want to live in the world of your dreams. Peanut brittle waffles served in the national park. Funny tractors can collect in the creases of the duck. Clome's long-nosed skateboarder. Some might say the proboscis has an aristocratic bearing. Special red toilet paper mask, his place. Sectong and its enumerated parts. An endless amusement park that lines either side of a road stretching over a mighty hill, down and away for as long as your feet may carry you. All content in this authority, regardless of painting by attrition as I call it. Get in psychic contact with alternate timeline, me, revelatory, unverifiable. The gods have pissed in my cup, but now I drink instant. Okay, now, number 17. All right. Bonnie, I will not deceive you. I spent 15 minutes picking through the ashtray for flea-sized leftovers. I smoked them, and I felt really good for about an hour. Hold out your arm long enough to feel the pain of fatigue and then glory in that pain. My cynicism was the beginning of my success. Better, the loss of my idealisms about painting, etc. A person who, in his rightful state, cannot help but speak in metaphors. Happily, I can now say that I am officially crazy, for I now officially believe in a crazy theory. Wow, I finally went crazy. The funny thing is when I realized there was no God, the immediate reaction is, I feel no different. I'm still the same me, only liberated from my many onerous fears. 1. Don't forget. 2. Keep the reason behind it all secret. A new kind of superstition, an accident of fear, a subjective symbolism is born. Drop the word sometimes. Look, the reason Fibonacci numbers are so prevalent in nature is because they are actually the only numbers in existence. All the other numbers are just illusions. If you look closely enough at any one of those latter numbers, either in sequence or amount of something, you will see that this is so. For all of this to be true, you must accept that there are two ones, and this in turn explains self-awareness and the paradoxical existence of other self-something. Tenets. 1. The analogy, its symbolism is acceptable for explaining any phenomenon, any concept, any viewpoint. 2. The generation of self-awareness from non-sentient matter is explained by there being two maths in existence in the universe. One merely waits for a life, self-awareness, to activate it. 3. Since you're already constrained in your art by the biggest constraint of all, time, space, why constrain yourself further with unnecessary artificial constraints? Okay, now number 18. Hold on. This is a bunch of clicking I have to do here. Alright. This is number 18. Ursa Feck, reload the flock floor supervisory, combining things to produce new horror. Frankenstein's monster with a handlebar mustache. Teach your children to pray with dolls. Bow agate stripped feeler as loose. Surge and purge and churn. Sit down to see the scorn apostle on the phantom scream. Chymic, Hans. Hey man, what's your name by the way? Graham. It's Graham. Hans. Like the metric unit? That's Graham. No, Graham, like the cracker. Hans. Still looking for the tallest tacos in town? Graham. Don't you think tacos ought to be spelled like this? Tacos. Wouldn't that be great? Zone. Is Graham here? H. Whatever. Oh, Hans. You're lucky I just learned his name. Graham. What are you doing here? Zone. I decided I wanted to smoke pot too. Still looking for the tallest tacos in town? Too much into the zipper from mushy scorpion wind and coming each return and comply. Should a man end his choker on a note? Album title, Reflective Surfaces. Familiarizing oneself with all of Dio's albums would be like pursuing a doctorate. Everything tried reflected my tourism back on me. Hans, we are trying to decide exactly when Aerosmith started to suck. The foot animal, and it stayed there until the universe fell apart. A balcony at work from which you can sip your tea and watch the others work, or a sidewalk cafe typesetting behind protective railings down on the floor. Okay, now let's do 19. Okay. Oh, dear me. It's repetitive divisor gas. No thought, just an initiative. Hard to go to the old submergence level. Searching for an analogy won't knit up the sea, although it has many times. Conceptions calculated to send you into paroxysms of paranoid recapitulation, waiting in a mosquito-filled ditch for my mother to drive away. Have you ever heard a steam whistle on a kettle burn itself out because there was no one to answer it? November the 3rd, 2016. Police code for wife justifiably beaten to death with the finality of rage. When they ask you what pills you're taking, tell them you're emotion suppressants. I'm not going to have all this doping carnage go to waste. Idea for book. The formative people in my life. Start early, while we accuse the other one of being the more superstitious. Car dash. Trying to be fair will drive you nuts. like crazy. Put your tea in the sunlight just long enough to turn the color of the swamp. I like the familiarity I have with the house and its contents. Do you know how many escalators in the prawn? A so-called second childhood, and how you can settle into one. He has named each of his Geppetto-like eyebrows. The CD player makes a disgorging sound when it opens. Why doesn't the crazy cult leader ever quote from the crazy cult scripture, "We get to do whatever we want," the first book of the Loss of Life, first chapter, first what you might call a verse? You will inevitably experience post-marijuana depression, so-called PMD. But for right now, let's talk about that coffee. The hunt for the Nagasis. Don't join an institution that is absurd with the cleanliness. The hunt for the Nagasis. Don't join an institution that is obsessed with the cleanliness of your anus. Alright, let's do 20 now. Alright. This is work poem number 20. I am not the chief, I am not the chief, I am chief. Glitter permanently attached to his butt cheeks. Fibonacci numbers, wheel/chart. Copyright the appellation, the last great American painter. Almost 50 in Venus. Ferris wheels Easter in transit. Approve and trouble the sneakering. Rock carving of the front half of a giraffe. People climbing into its mechanical interior. Physics are so against instant, which I tried to be a grown-up. Earn my cornbread hope. The riddle of disproportionate fabrication. Really long cows need extra legs. Struggling Fico lounge the rouse, and begin focusing on my strengths as a witness, my cowboy. This time his failing eyesight had the appearance of interesting flab masochism tower exclusion, and after reading aloud what he was required to read aloud, he now feels it necessary to speak extemporaneously on the subject. Thank you for your unwanted comments. Okay. A few more minutes here. This is work poem number 21. Why is this damn thing not... There you go. Vacuum cleaner organs under the spell of distant transport. Lower rising hawk imp blended in Aragon with this miraculous device. Amtskrieg. Carbon fishing. We can reliably satisfy our leisure glacier. Pseudo-data, that guy quit. Puny volcano, the smallest possible under the sudden slamming shut of the anal cave, molten rock boring into the next room, in which death moves ever crisper. Bruce Willis's new movie, Be Difficult to Kill. Awesome beguilement and wreckage. Every night Butch's radio station of comfort plays Whitney Houston's version of I Will Always Love You. Amber Loud as the Bishop of Buzzard Craw, presenting trees of distinction throughout the Tri-County area. The reign of novelty. A badge taped to his shirt. Band name, Malt Liquor. Gum Tragacanth. I would love for my wife to be forced to explain to somebody exactly what it is she doesn't like about my acting differently while stoned. King Run Satellites. They run the show on which my wife appears. I also occasionally appear, painting or playing the guitar. These are the comedy sections, I'm told. A journal of expectancy. What kind of woman would find Matthew McConaughey attractive? Answer, redneck. The Hidden Diabetes Tribe. The Final Flirtation with Funk. Frame. The Low Proc Frame and Fragment. Contaminant White Slaw. To Get Naked in the Improv Room. I found the golden orb, but it was taken away from me. Selection of a further third. A few more here. Alright, this is number 22. Whoops. Why does it do this to me? Alright. The firefighter helicopter escaping from the explosions of smoke and sparks is a sweaty bottle of Coke held up to a woman's face. Benefits amended to take in the beach and its antecedents. The staples were insufficient to keep his forehead closed. The mountain is on fire, greeting a stuffed dog. Isn't it funny that it's going to be Hillary's election that pulls me out of my PMD? Now I don't know what to do. Now I don't know how to act. Dinah Shadle, Zuler, One of the most high pigs. What kind of product would you wear a t-shirt imprinted with the logo of? Escalating crab writing professional longermonger. Sporadic camera flabber. Menthol in a hand cream. Are you eating a cigarette? Come, you painted brats, my master must feed. Isn't 128 years an odd thing to celebrate? Red launch from Glip. 47. This is where I give up. Nurtic, Opus, Onus, Anus, Taurus. We struggle to entertain the wandering washouts. Bigamy and snacks. Big Amy and snacks. Carl Einstein, Dilettantes of the Wondrous. An absolute, imaginative literature void of causality, associations, and explanation which demonstrated that ultimately intellect can be no more than its own aesthetic riddle. Where is Mount Pugu? Hillary's chances path. Today's modern tents are transparent and shaped like boats as a couple of hairs topped with baking soda, and I'll keep my mouth shut from now on. Alright, I think that's good enough for now. So next time we will start with work poem 23. Appropriate. Alright everyone, see you later.